says because I gain critical skills. No one has ever forced you to attend crack sessions. That's interesting and heartening. So great, guys. So I'll start with the session. Therefore, give me a moment on practicing mind. That's great context to start with. And if you can see my screen, just 2 or 3 yeses will help. Gauri nods her head. So yes, I know that you can see the screen. We'll it's a very different kind of a session, guys, and as we said, we are dividing it into 2 sections. In section 1, Gauri and I will take you through some critical concepts. Then Palak will help me with a few questions. Palak has also joined me today to help take a few questions from the audience. And then in the second section, Gauri will run a live meditation session. It will be important that these things that are there on your screen are followed. Silence your mic, keep yourself on mute at all points of time. It will be great if your videos are on. There is no compulsion, but I think we'll be able to deliver better results if your video is on. Opening your mind will be very important while you're taking the session. Just make sure, if possible, you have a paper and pen. Some of the things you might want to write. You might also want to write on the chat box if there is a question or a point that you want to make, and just make sure you avoid as much interruption as possible while you're taking the session. Keep the distractions away, keep your phone on silent, be in as relaxed posture and position as possible. I hope you're wearing comfortable clothes. All of this will help. So as I said, the agenda, I will first, for the first 10-12 minutes, take you through the what and why of mindfulness. Very important. I'll also clear a lot of myths that are there for mindfulness. This will be till about 12:20 or so. I'll also take you through this unique concept called adversity quotient. Then I'll hand over to Gauri to take you through 2 important parts. First is a spheres of life session. That's a specific part today. And the second part is the live experiential session that she will take, which is the live meditation session. So let's jump right into it with all of you. Very happy to see about 155 of you there. What is mindfulness? So very important that we define and we are very clear about this term of what is mindfulness. I think very simply put, I like this definition the most. It can be described as a present focused consciousness. By present focused, I mean you're not ruminating about the past or not worrying about the future. You're simply being, existing in the here and now. A lot of time we are either worrying about what has happened in the past, taking baggages with us, blaming people, blaming situations, or a lot of times you are worried about how the future will hold. Maybe about our health, maybe about a worry we have, maybe about our jobs, maybe about our progress, our plans. There's a lot of worry happening about the future. The concept of mindfulness tells us to be in the present, to be in the right now, not worry about the past, not worry about the future. It is therefore the art of allowing thoughts to come and go without feeling involved. Mindfulness is not that no thoughts will come to your mind. It is about allowing them to come and go without you feeling emotionally involved with it. So therefore, the point is to pay close attention to your physical sensations. You might be feeling angry. You might be feeling very happy. You might be feeling sad at a particular point of time. You might be feeling curious. You might be feeling excited. There could be various hormones that your body might be secreting at any point of time. And if you remember my storytelling session, there are hormones that get secreted like oxytocin. There's adrenaline rush that we talk about. Being aware that you're feeling a certain feeling and able to see them very clearly without any assumptions, without any stories. So very simply put, that is what I think mindfulness is. If you bring it to the work concept, mindful working concept, it means applying focus and awareness to everything you do. From the moment you enter the office or you enter the school as a teacher, focus on the task at hand. and recognize and release internal and external distractions as they arise. If you're teaching in a class, that moment is that particular topic and that student sitting in front of you. It doesn't matter what has happened before in your family or in your life or even the hour before in the previous class. If you're in office, it's that particular concept or that problem that you're trying to solve at that moment. It's that customer that is sitting in front of you at that moment. Everything else before and after that doesn't matter. Mindfulness is also doing one task at a time and not multitasking. And therefore, it increases effectiveness, decreases mistakes, and even enhances creativity. 0% people said it boosts creativity for me, but to your surprise, you might want to know it enhances creativity to a large extent because you're living in the moment and delivering great results. So, as I said, avoid everything else till one task is finished. And once you have jotted down your most important goals, also jot down what you want to avoid. You might want to avoid your mobile phone. You might want to avoid social network. You might want to avoid your family if you're doing something important at work. Or if you're spending time with your family, you might want to avoid work. So you have to be very clear. What am I focusing on right now? What is the moment right now? Whom am I speaking to right now? And also be clear on what all you want to avoid. What it is not, guys. Again, we confuse a lot of time about what mindfulness is. First is, it has nothing to do with religiousness. Nothing to do with religiousness. You can follow a religion, you cannot follow a religion. You can be an atheist, it's your choice. Mindfulness has nothing to do with it. Second is, mindfulness is not necessarily meditating. Meditating is one way of getting to it, but it's not necessarily meditating, and especially sitting in a lotus position, closing your eyes and focusing. Mindfulness is also not necessarily that you have to take out half an hour or 10 minutes or 1 hour every day and you decide to be mindful. You can be mindful while just walking and just be very, very aware of your movements of your legs. You can be mindful while driving. You can even be mindful while listening to music, just getting lost in that music. You can be mindful, let's say, when you're eating a raisin and feeling the taste of the raisin in your mouth before you swallow that raisin. Mindfulness also is a myth that you can't be mindful when you have people around you. That's not the case. You can be mindful when you are in a crowded metro station also, when you are very, very aware of your feelings, of your emotions, of that moment. Mindfulness is not necessarily relaxing also. It's not completely signing off from all the work that you have and relaxing. That's also again not mindfulness. Also, mindfulness is no magic or bliss. A lot of times you feel that when you're mindful, you're going to get into a magical world. It's more being aware of your world, of what you're doing right now. Mindfulness is also not getting
आले पण ते काय नीट बरोबर येत नाहीये मला. आले पण बरोबर ऐकू येत नाहीये आणि नीट येत नाहीये.
Mindfulness is also, guys, please mute your lines so that there is no disturbance. Mindfulness is also not getting lost into thoughts. And lastly, mindfulness is not for old people. A lot of times we misunderstand mindfulness with the concept that it's only for old people. It's not. It's for all ages. In fact, with the kind of news that I keep hearing daily on a daily basis, we lost Sushant Singh Rajput also very recently. So therefore, we are very clear it's nothing to do with old people. I would also want to give you some examples of big organizations or corporates who are practicing mindfulness. The first example in that is that of Apple. All of us know about the company. I think if I would do a poll, about 30% of you would say that you use an Apple phone currently. Did you know that Steve Jobs, when he was alive, was a big proponent of mindfulness? He, in fact, has online yoga classes and meditation rooms that are available in Apple offices. There is 30 minutes every day that he wants to take out for his employees on the mindfulness meditation exercise. Yahoo, another huge organization, promotes meditation. It says that it reduces stress while at work and you are able to practice more emotional intelligence with your colleagues. Google, another, I don't need to introduce this organization to you. They have something called Search Inside Yourself. This is a program that they run where more than 1,000 employees learn how to breathe mindfully on a daily basis. It also helps them listen to their co-workers, improve their EQ that I said before. So imagine the biggest organizations of the world are also practicing mindfulness on a daily basis. So if I've laid enough emphasis on the what, let me tell you a little bit on the why also. You would be startled to know, I was very surprised to know, 47% people spend their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're doing at that moment. This basically means half of the time we are not in the moment. Half of the awakened time we are actually thinking something else while doing something else. This is almost on an autopilot mode. This is like not thinking about driving while you're driving. A lot of us do that. And over and above that, there's this huge economy that has come up, which is called the attention economy. Attention economy is nothing but is the ability to maintain focus and concentration. And these days, leaders, any leader in their respective fields, are thrown a lot of information that they have to make good decisions on. And if they are not attentive every time on that moment, they're losing out. They're not able to make the best decisions. I myself attend at least 12 to 15 virtual meetings every day. Each one of those meetings range from half an hour to 1 hour. And in each one of those meetings, there are important decisions that have to be taken. And if I'm not mindful, even in one meeting out of the 10, 12, I know at the end of the day that people in those meetings felt that justice was not done in terms of the decision that had to be taken, in terms of the discussion that had to be done. Many more important outputs of mindfulness. First, it improves social relationships. As I said, it improves your emotional intelligence. You are able to listen more because you're in the moment. You are able to empathize more, and therefore it improves your social relationships. It fosters resilience. The person in front of you might feel that you have a lot of patience, but because you're more mindful, you're able to understand where that person is coming from, why that person is saying what they're saying, and therefore you end up becoming more resilient. You're more open to change. It improves intuition. Research says mindfulness helps in believing your gut feel a lot more, because you have greater understanding of that moment. You have a intuition that what should be the right decision in a particular situation. It enhances task performance. Google and Apple have in fact proven it, that more mindful employees are able to focus more and are able to deliver more, and increases your task performance. Job satisfaction and motivation, because you're living the moment, you're able to deliver more. If you're delivering more, you're getting appreciated more. If you're getting appreciated more, your overall job satisfaction and motivation goes up. Coping with change. Today, change is the new constant, right? Everything is changing daily. Corona brought in a lot of change already. And over and above that, there's something changing at your work, at your home on a daily basis. Mindfulness, because of the fact you're focusing on the moment you're aware, it helps you in coping with that change also. And I have mentioned it increases creativity. I would finish this section with a very important concept called the adversity quotient. It's a score that measures the ability of a person to deal with adversities in his or her life, which is also known as the resilience quotient. Along with EQ, this is something that has also become very, very important. Dr. Paul Stoles mentioned this in his concept in his book called AQ. So therefore, 20% of the people life success depends on IQ, but the remaining 80%, guys, now depends on EQ and AQ, whether you are able to take the adversities that are there in your life better. And therefore, that's known as the 3Q concept. On this note, I would hand over to Gauri to take us through the first exercise, which is the MBSR, mindfulness based stress relief. Over to you, Gauri.
Thank you, Devajit. I really loved your thoughts on mindfulness and the adversity quotient. And a warm welcome to everybody. It's great to see so many people join in on a Saturday afternoon. And let's start this journey inward and try to take it from where Devajit has left us. So, am I audible?
Yeah, just be a little loud, maybe, Gauri.
Okay. Yeah. So, we'll go to the next screen where we'll be talking about a tool. So, I'm going to explain a tool to all of y'all, which you can use to predict your AQ or adversity quotient. At this point of time, I believe Palak, if you can share the handout, she'll be sharing an handout to you, which will be available in your chat window. So, what we see on the screen are three circles, and these three circles depict the area in which your adversity quotients or the stress factors that you see in any of your adversities lay in. Now, many of us would say adversity is a very large or something that I can't really think about. So you can also go and think about small things in your life, like small problem areas or small problems that you're dealing with, and the stress factors that arise from these problems. And we are going to talk about it with respect to these spheres. So consider the first sphere, or the sphere of control. So this sphere will contain all the stress factors that you can really control. For example, your emotions, your behaviors, your feelings, your purpose in life, all that can be controlled by you. And even if there is an stress factor in that particular sphere, you can change it. It's in your hand to change it. We go on to the second sphere, which is a sphere of influence. Now, this sphere is basically what you can influence, the things or the people that you can influence. For example, all your relationships, stress factors arising due to that, stress factors arising due to collaborative efforts with other people would all fall in this circle. And of course, the real big daddy, you can say, of all the spheres is a sphere of concern, which is all the external factors which you have no control or influence on. So things which you can't really handle, like losing your job or getting a deadly disease, all of them would fall in the sphere of concern. So let's go on to the next slide, and we can see how we can segregate these stress factors. So these slides are essentially available in the handouts that are there on the screen. So you can, at any point of time when you're free or later on where you have time in silence, you can go and you can, do this exercise back then. So let's begin with segregating of the stress factors. So what we're going to do is first think of what are the adversities that we're currently facing. If you take adversity as a small term, as I said before, if you take adversity as too large a term, you can go in for things like problem areas in your life and list them one by one. And you can list as many as you want. I have listed two here, and you can list as many as you want to work on. So let's go through the examples that I have listed so that you get a clear understanding of how you can segregate. If you can go back to the previous slide, please. Yeah. So if you see, for example, the most evident adversity all of us at this point of time, which we may be thinking of, is what if I get COVID-19? So I'm going to just write down all these stress factors which come out from this adversity, and I'm going to segregate it into the three spheres. So if you see, my sphere of control, the things that I can control are my emotions, my fears, my hygiene, wearing a mask, wearing gloves, using a sanitizer, things that I can do at my end and things that I can control within my scope. And the sphere of influence would contain things that I can influence. So I can influence my family's hygiene. I can influence my son not to go down to play because it can be harmful for his health. The things that I can influence for my family's well-being, I have segregated it in the sphere of influence. And we all know, in spite of following all this, what if I still get COVID? There is a chance. I mean, there is all that will come in your sphere of concern. The unknown, totally unpredictable things in life will come in your sphere of concern. So, similarly, I have listed another adversity that I think is adversity at this point of time. What if I lose my job? And similarly, I have segregated it in the different circles. So my emotions would come in the sphere of control, my dependence concern would come in the sphere of influence. Things like, my interaction with my bosses, my interaction with my HR, in order to see if I can still keep the job, or with maybe, taking a pay cut. All that will come in the sphere of influence. But there is a possibility that I still lose my job, because sphere of influence are only those factors you can influence. There is no guarantee that the influence would work. So in that case, I will still have that thought that, oh, what if I lose my job? I'll put that in the sphere of concern. How will I pay my AMIs? How will I pay my son's fees? So all that would come in the sphere of concern. So similarly, I would ask y'all to segregate your factors, your stress factors, into these three circles. And let's see what we can do about it in the next slide. You can go on to the next slide. Yeah. So we can talk about making a vision board. This is a vision board or an action plan that we can do for the sphere of control and influence. So what we're going to do at this point is list down all the factors that you have, all the stress factors that you have segregated in the previous slide. And we can mark down the actions that you can take on those stress factors. So for example, one of the stress factor that I might have, which is under my control, is if I have diabetes, then my weight and my sugar intake can be a stress factor for me. And the action that one can take in the sphere of control is go to a gym, do not buy sugary treats, do not maybe change a diet, go on a natural diet. So these actions are something that you have to come up on your own. You have to self introspect, or maybe seek advice from your counselors or people or mentors who are available, and come up with these actions that you can follow. Similarly, like the stress factors that can potentially influence you, suppose if I have relationship issues, that can be a stress factor. And the action that you can take on that, what I have come upon, now your action can be completely different, of course. You need to introspect by yourself and check what your action is going to be. So some of the actions that I have come up with is open communication, seek a relationship advisor, come to a common understanding, and agree to disagree. So these are some of the actions that I plan to take. So tomorrow, if I'm facing an adversity, I will not go on thinking of the adversity. Rather, I will come to this vision board and I will directly work on my action. So what this does is you're going to respond to your life rather than keep reacting to your life, rather than keep thinking, oh, what will happen if this goes wrong? Oh, what will happen if this goes wrong? You come out of the negative thought pattern and start actually responding to your life. One of the things that you must have observed in this slide is you do not have a tabularization for stress factors that are from your sphere of concern. That is obviously because the sphere of concern is something, like I mentioned, very unpredictable. Things that are not in your hand are all mentioned in the sphere of control, concern. So what do we do in that case? What do we do in order to uh, react to the stress factors that come out of something that is not in your hand. So we'll go on to the next slide and see some of the daily practices that we can do that can be done so that we can avoid the stress factors that you can get from your sphere of concern. Yeah. So there is a long list of some of the daily practices. You can practice either one of them, or you can practice all of them together, or a mixture of either one of them, whatever actually you relate to. So let us, just go through all of them one by one. The first one is, of course, awareness that you are under a form of stress. When you're aware that you're undergoing a stress, that's when you can think about bringing a change to that stress that you have. And that begins with accepting it. You begin with accepting what you're going through and just being with it. The second aspect is changing negative thought patterns. So this is what we were talking about before. So, like, for example, take the example that we all are going through right now in this COVID situation. If I am fearful about getting COVID 19, I keep thinking about it like, what if I get COVID 19? What if I get COVID 19? So, that becomes a pattern. And in turn, that pattern will lead to other negative patterns. I'll keep thinking, oh, I have to, if I get COVID 19, what if it becomes too much and I have to be hospitalized? Oh, then what will happen to my kids? What will happen to, tomorrow if it goes beyond my means? What will happen then? So you see, one pattern keeps leading to the other thought patterns. And then this is an entire cycle of negative thought patterns. So in order to avoid that, what we can do is we can work on something called as an ABC model, where again you begin with awareness. You begin with awareness that you're going through a negative thought pattern. The moment you get the thought, you become aware of it. Then let's go to the B part. B part is the belief part. What you do is try to understand what is the belief behind that negative thought, and try to get a further clarity about the negative thought. And then the C part. C part is the change. Change the belief that you have in order to change the thought. And hence you see that every time you get the thought, once you start, changing the belief, you'll see that the thought automatically disappears. The third thing, which is a gratitude practice, which is something that I really recommend, because it has been proven that where there is gratitude, there'll be no depression. Gratitude is the greatest enemy of depression. So, how do you set up a gratitude practice? The best thing would be, if you like, before you go to sleep. I'm sorry, I think there is some background noise. If we can, Palak, if you can mute the others. Yeah. Yeah. So if we can set a daily gratitude practice wherein where before you go to sleep, you come up with 3 things that you have been grateful for before you go to bed. So the 3 things can be anything that you've gone through throughout the day. That they can be as mundane as, being able to spare a laugh. So these small aspects of what you go through during the day kind of can bring a large change to your, to your stress and your anxiety levels. So a daily gratitude practice is a must. Creative channeling, the next one. Like many of us are already quite creative. I was really surprised when I saw the poll results where, it was mentioned that, you know, uh, uh, meditation, nobody wanted to do meditation or mindfulness to go into creative channeling. But the other way around is very much true. So you can creatively channelize your energies in order to be mindful. So you can be totally present during your painting, or during your gardening, or during writing poetry, all that kind of activates your parasympathetic nervous system, and it helps you to calm down. So creative channeling is a great practice to, reduce stress factors in your life. The next one is, of course, journaling. Journaling, if done on a daily basis, helps you release all your emotions. So a lot of us, have built-in emotions. We do not express our emotions, thinking that, we are very strong. So let us build in all our emotions within, and that actually causes more stress and anxiety than we can think about. So if you have a daily journaling practice in place, wherein you just express the ups and downs that you go through during the day, it's an excellent idea of keeping the stress and anxiety at bay. So journaling, okay, there is a question, what is journaling? Journaling is writing down your thoughts, writing down the things that you've experienced during the day, your emotions, if you have any. You can write down if you have any relationship issues or relationship problems that you've gone through during the day, you can write that down. So all that is journaling. Just writing down whatever you're feeling at that present moment is journaling. And the next one is mindfulness in action. Now this is a big one. So like Debojit rightfully explained in the beginning, you can be mindful in everything that you do, right from getting up in the morning, brushing your teeth. If you're mindfully brushing your teeth, you're actually reducing stress. Now this may come across as a very funny aspect, but it's very true. Like when you eat your breakfast, if you eat the breakfast with all your senses, it's being mindful, it's equivalent to meditating. So like right from devouring it with your sight, looking at the food that you're eating, smelling the food that you're eating, and then actually eating it and biting it 32 times, that is mindful eating. So mindful eating is a great concept, and I think anyone can do it, and at any time it can be done. So if there is no excuse to say that I didn't have time for meditation, you can do mindfulness in action at any point of time in your life. Like those of us who like to listen to music, just flow with the music. Those of us who like to dance away, and just remove your emotions through that dance. So engaging in all your senses is being mindful in whatever action that you're doing. And the last one, of course, is meditation. And I think there is a lot said about meditation, and I do not want to add anything extra here. So I would say it's better that we experience it rather than me talking about it, because when you experience something and it comes from within, you'll realize, what good it would do in your life. So we'll go on to the experiential session. There are a few guidelines here that we can follow. You need to be quiet. You need to tell your family or your whoever is around you not to disturb you at least for the next 20 minutes or so. Whatever clothing you're wearing, try to see that you're wearing loose clothing. If you're not, you can loosen your clothing. This experience is best experienced over a headphone. So you can just hear my voice over a headphone. So if you have headphones lying somewhere nearby, you can just pick them up. And also this practice, you need to be very comfortable. So you can lie down or you can be in whatever comfortable position you are. See to it that you're extremely comfortable. That's it. There is no position as such. You don't need to be in a cross-legged position or anything. Switch off your mobile phones, be hydrated, use the restroom, and we can start the session. But before that, would you like to take a few questions, Debujit?
Yeah. So while people get ready for the experiential session, maybe there are 2-3 questions that we can take. Palak, if you can help.
Sure.
Sorry?
So there's a question from Gunjan Singh. She asks, how is mindfulness different from focusing? If you can answer that.
Yeah. So see, focusing is definitely an aspect of mindfulness. You need to be focused on a particular situation when you're being mindful, but that doesn't encompass entire mindfulness. Mindfulness, you need to also be observant to the situation that one is going through. So if you are completely focused, you can't be observant at the same point of time. In mindfulness, you have to come to a balance between the two. So definitely focusing is an aspect.
Any thoughts from you, Deboji?
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree with what Gauri said. Focusing is a critical outcome of mindfulness, and I think she beautifully explained it.
We also have Ekta telling us that in ENY2, during busy season, they used to have 30 minutes relaxation exercise time. Great, Ekta. One question from Rachna on the sphere of life. She asks, is this concentric circle by any chance?
So they are overlapping circles, more than concentric circles. I would say they are overlapping circles. So you can take it as something that you can it's a part of you to be, to change. So if you have control over it, if you are in the control circle, that will be the most central circle, and that's basically, it is coming out of you. So basically it is like circles which overlap all the aspects of you in each other.
Gauri, I had a question on the
Yeah.
circle spheres bit. I think,
Yeah.
and more a comment along with a question. Is it advisable that we try and move our spheres of concern to our spheres of influence and control, rather, uh, and only then think about it? If we are not able to move it, it's better or advisable to not think about it at all.
See, you cannot move the sphere of concern, because the unknowns will always be there. Unpredictability will always be there. But yes, you can increase the sphere of influence that you have. You can increase, you cannot even increase your control over things, but you can increase this sphere of influence definitely by influencing more people. But that is more of a nature of a person, rather than something that you can develop, because your influencing capability is definitely a part of your inherent nature.
Got it. Thank you. Palak, any other question?
Yeah, so Riddhi asks, can you explain what meditation exactly is?
Okay. So, Nidhi, I would say that first you go through this experience, and you will find out what it actually is. Because I think the best thing is to go through an experience for yourself, because meditation is different for different people. Some people find relief in it. The people who haven't been able to sleep for a long time feel a sense of relaxation in it. The people who want to find a deeper meaning to life, they are able to get answers through knowing themselves better. So, and then there are many other aspects of meditation. As you explore it, you will find new aspects of meditation getting attached to whatever is your understanding. So whatever is your intention before you go through the meditation, that you will definitely get.
So last question before we actually move on to the session that you're going to take, Gauri. One question from Manmat. He asks, if for changing negative thought patterns, you need to change the underlying beliefs. How do you change the underlying beliefs?
To change the underlying beliefs is a really difficult thing first is by reflection. The easiest way is by reflecting what that belief is making you do. What are the feelings that you are going through because of the belief? So when you're going through any negative belief, you'll obviously start feeling an anxiety, a sense of anxiety in you, a sense of stress in you. When you see any aspect is getting you those negative thoughts, that is when you need to realize that I have to change that belief. So reflection is a very important aspect, and self introspection.
Yeah, thanks, Gauri. We can get into the session, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope all of y'all are relaxed, and you can lie down if you want, totally. So I'll just start the session. So please lie down with your back on the floor. In this position, the body should be straight from the head to toe. The legs slightly apart and the arms a little way away from the body. The palms of your hand should be facing the ceiling. Adjust everything, your body, your position, and your clothes until you're completely comfortable. During this meditation, try to maintain stillness and no physical movement. Close your eyes and keep them completely closed until you're told to open them. Let's start by taking a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. As you breathe out, feel the cares and the worries of the day flow out through you. Let us now set an intention for the session. The intention can be as simple as, let me feel extremely relaxed and rejuvenated. Or it can be any other unique intention that you want to achieve with this session. Set your intention. Do it now. And now, I invite you to experience breathworks, for which we are going to breathe in from our mouth, hold for 4 counts, and breathe out through our mouth. While we breathe in, we will act as if we are sucking on a straw. Let us practice this action. 1, 2, 3. Suck from a straw. While we breathe out, we'll act as if we are blowing on a candle. So let us practice it. 1, 2, 3. Blow on a candle. Very good. So let us begin the actual process. Take a nice, slow, deep breath in through your mouth. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. And then blow it out. Good. Take in another nice, slow, deep breath in through your mouth. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And slowly let it out. Very good. And now I want you to take a very deep breath in through your mouth. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let it out quickly at once through your mouth. Fall back to your normal pattern of breathing through your nose, out through your nose. Feel all the tensions just float away, and your body feels more and more comfortable and relaxed. Allow the positive and loving feelings to flow throughout your entire body. Positive, safe, secure, and relaxing feelings move through you, allowing you for a deep sense of relaxation to cascade over your entire being. At the same time, maintain the awareness of your breath, complete awareness of your breath. And now, let's begin progressive muscle relaxation. You will have to bring your awareness and isolate the muscle that I ask you to, and tighten it when I say the word tense. This experience will be very similar to when your muscles shiver during the cold season or when electricity passes through your body. You will progressively tighten more your body muscles with each occurrence of tense. And when I say relax, you will let your muscles relax completely. So let us begin with the isolation of your leg muscles. So I invite you to bring your awareness and isolate your lower leg, ankle, and feet muscles of both your legs. So let us begin. Tense, 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 and relax. Breathe into your leg muscles and feel them soften. Now, move your awareness to your upper legs, thighs, and kneecaps of both your legs. Tense, 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 and relax. Breathe into them and feel the cosmic energy flow into them, naturally relaxing them. the legs that bear the weight of your entire body. Feel them float away now. And now, bring your awareness to your hip and pelvic areas. So, tense, 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 and relax. Gently breathe into them, softening them and getting them to the state of relaxation. Move your focus now to your abdomen and chest area. Tense, 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 and relax. Breathe deeply into them and move them to a state of calm. The little heart muscle which carries all the burdens of our emotion. Feel the emotions settle down. And now bring your attention to your back, your shoulder blades, spine, upper and lower back, and tense, 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 and relax. Get your breath to flow through them and completely relax them. Your spine is the biggest body support. Feel it activated and completely relaxed. And now, bring your awareness to your hands, arms, palms, wrists, and fingers. You can close your fist in order to tense more. So tense, 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 and relax. Breathe deeply into your hand muscles and feel them go limp and loosen up. Move your awareness now to your neck, head, and face. You can make a grumpy face in order to tense your face muscles. So let's tense, 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 and relax. Breathe in to your face, neck, and head. And now feel your entire body soften and relaxed. Cozy, heavy, gentle feelings embrace your muscles as through a blanket of warm relaxation is covering you from the head to the toe. You will feel extremely light at this point of time. You may also feel a floating or a tingling sensation. Whatever you're feeling, It's the best for you. Be with the sensation that you're feeling. Feel the sensation. There is nothing to worry. You are in a safe space. You are in a safe space with yourself. At this point, I invite you to think and pick up the best moment of your lifespan. It should be the moment which made you reach the pinnacle of happiness, contentment, and love in your life. This moment can be from your childhood, teenage, or adulthood, but it should be from a time where you feel safe and happy to visit again and again. And now, let us relive this movement. As I count down backwards from 5 to 1, you will be more, and more closer to experiencing this moment again. 5. You're extremely calm and relaxed. 4. You're feeling so happy to be close to this moment. 3. You are really excited. 2. Your heart is filled up with joy to relieve this experience. And 1. You are in the happy moment. Just scan yourself and see, what's your age? What are you wearing? Where are you? Are you home or some other place? Are you holding on to something? Who are the other people in the room with you? What are you talking about? What are the sounds in the room? Are you eating something? What does it taste like? Are you getting any smells around you? How are you feeling? Confident, safe, relaxed, protected, calm, cool, and at ease in this safe and happy place. Anytime you want to feel safe, relaxed, and at ease, all you have to do is imagine going to this safe, happy place. And you will immediately be taken to this place, feeling relaxed and comfortable. When you come to this place, you feel like a warm glow is filling your body. You feel an inner peace, and a wonderful healing energy begins to emerge within you. This inner light fills your body, mind, and spirit with love, peace, and healing energy. Be in this feeling, flow in this feeling. Just go in this feeling. And now we will practice the Buddhist tradition of metta. So, for which you keep your eyes closed. Place both your hands, one on top of the other, in between the center of your heart, on the heart chakra. And feel the love emanate from this chakra. Just follow my words and flow with me. I fully and completely bless myself. Bless the mother who gave birth to me. Bless the father who supported me. Bless the partner, past or future partners who shared their lives with me. Bless my current children or my future children. Bless my spirit guides. Bless my angels. and bless all beings of light. Bless all my ancestors and all my future generations. Bless my brother and bless my sister and their families. Bless my entire extended family. Bless my friends, bless my teachers, and bless my mentors. Bless my acquaintances. Bless all the people who like me. Bless more all the people who don't like me. Bless the Mother Earth. Bless all the living creatures who inhabit her. Bless all the celestial objects like the sun, the moon, stars, and the galaxies. Bless the entire universe. Let there be more peace and more light and more strength and love to everybody. Thank you and Atma Namaste.
Okay, people, you can open your eyes, I think, one by one. Thank you for the session, Gauri. I think uh, when I went through it, I went through a lot of emotions myself. And people, I think even if half of the people on the call would have gone through the entire 20 plus minutes, it would be a great achievement. Maybe some of you can write in the chat box how you felt, guys, during the exercise. That will help us understand whether you went through the entire part of it, whether you went through a certain portion of it, and what did you feel, what were the emotions you felt, what were the kind of thoughts you had during the course of the entire session. And we'll pick up some of them in our last section. I apologize, we have just crossed time by about 15 minutes or so, but this was the most integral part of the session, and therefore we did not want to skip this. Gauri, we are receiving responses like wonderful experience, feeling very relaxed. We went to some other world. Nabil says, Govardhan says, I feel recharged. Riddhi says, I feel very energetic now. Riddhi also says she feels speechless. Itishri says, thank you for a wonderful experience. We have Navpreet saying, full of positive thoughts. Gurkanan saying, blessings, and to you as well. Bindu says, I find myself relaxed. Shriya says, I brought up so many thoughts and resurfaced certain emotions. Ankit Jain says, body felt numb. And Manpreet says, I felt the tranquility that I was looking for. Balaka Datta says, wonderful experience. Mugdha says, I feel very peaceful. Ankit Jain also says, my mind feels very heavy. I think it's again a very common feeling. Smita says, I feel I'm floating in space. Interesting. Smita, I felt something similar, as if I felt detached. Jyothna says, relaxed, positive. Shriya says, thanks for this. Harshal Tipnis says, I have been through many different mind and spiritual programs like Vipassana, Chit Shakti. This was one of the best experiences I have. And I have seen Vipassana also. I think that's a compliment, Gauri, to you. Chaitali says, thank you for this beautiful session. Truly got wonderful experiences. Madhuja says, wonderful, wonderful. Thanks, people. I see at least half of you. As I said, had gone through a lot through almost the entire part. In fact, more of you, and we are still getting responses. This is what we wanted to take you through, guys, and that's what I think was the summary of the session. There are some quick everyday chits also, but I don't want to break the flow of the mental state that you are in. And you already have the handout about some of the things that you can do. Piku still says thanks. I feel relaxed and tension free. Naresh says thanks for the special care. So I will urge all of you guys to be in the here and now. I think mindfulness is all about that. Gauri has told all of us something that we can do on a daily basis. I mean, you don't necessarily need even a coach for this. But no, thank you, Gauri. It was wonderful through the session. I'll open the house maybe for 10 minutes or so if people want to ask questions. Also, there were some questions that was there before the session started and we didn't take all. Some of those also can be taken. Palak, over to you for taking the questions. Gauri, you can predominantly take most of the questions unless I have a value add in any of them.
So I have a question here with Vishal who asks, it seems that mindfulness helps in building self-awareness component of EQ. Is this correct?
Yes, definitely. Mindfulness is about self-awareness. So it encompasses all your three quotients, which is your intelligent quotient as well as your emotional quotient and adversity quotient. So awareness in all aspects of your life is definitely something mindfulness looks at.
Also, Gauri Chitali asks, is the mental fatigueness a lack of mindfulness?
Actually, you can combat mental fatigue with mindfulness. It's the other way around. So if you anytime feel fatigue and lack of energy, the best thing for you would be to be mindful.
Very aptly said. Purnima asks, how do we realize that we are in stress? Any symptoms to watch out for, anything? How do we realize that?
Yeah, I mean, the first symptom would be you feel a sense of anxiety or panic attack, or if your heart palpitations increase. So whatever that takes you away from being in the current present moment into feeling anxious about something leads you to have stress.
Itishri here asks, situations like situations like bullying, they disturb the entire mindfulness. How do we be mindful in such situations?
See, bullying as a subject is a completely different aspect wherein you have to mindfulness doesn't tell you that you have to get along with whatever you are experiencing. You have to obviously stand up for yourself when you are being bullied. But the negative aspects that come from bullying, definitely mindfulness helps you to get rid of those things.
Uh, I have Jyotsna here who asks, with so much competition and everyone who wants to do something extra to shine, how can you be in the present moment when you are always in the planning mode?
When you are in the planning mode, be focused on your planning. I think that's the best way to be in the present in doing what you're doing. And also, I think just taking away maybe 5 to 10 minutes in a day is something achievable. If you see all the giants like Steve Jobs and many other people, CEOs, they spend about hours together practicing mindfulness. So if we are able to take away even 10 minutes of a day in any mindful activity, not necessarily meditating, any mindful activity, uh, it kind of helps you to calm down your parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible responsible for setting the sense of calmness in you, and that will just set your day ahead for you. Like especially if you're able to set across those 10 minutes in the morning, it will just, you will see that everything that you do in a day will be stress free. So I would say just remove those 10 minutes and just be in silence. You don't really need to meditate also. Just be in silence. You can be in awareness. You can do a body scan. Just be in awareness of your body parts, and just be with yourself. That will help you to set your day ahead for you.
So, Gauri, I'll take one last question now, and then hope that we can probably answer everything on LinkedIn like we generally do. This last
Sure.
question is from Saurabh. He asks, people who have high IQ also have high mindfulness. Is this correct?
Actually, it is not correct. There is no relationship between IQ and EQ. In fact, there is a study that if you are very logical in your thinking, it is difficult for you to be in a meditative state, because what happens is when your logical mind takes over, it will keep pushing you towards not experiencing or not being in the moment that you are. So there is no truth to that.
এইটুকু ছাড়া সব মোটামুটি এখানে বরুণই লাগে না এখনো আমি এখানে টিদার লাগিয়েছি না আর একটু ইয়ারফোন লাগিয়ে না শুনতে শুনতে না কোথায় বেড়ে গেল না
Yeah, you can carry on, Gauri. You were saying you will have to unmute yourself.
Yeah. So there is no truth to the fact that only high IQ people can be high in their mindfulness. High IQ people can also be high in mindfulness, but that is an attribute that you need to develop for yourself. So irrespective of what your IQ is, you can be mindful.
Also, I think rightly said, Sushant himself was very high on IQ with an IEEE rank of 6. And if he actually took the step, then it kind of corroborates with what you're saying as a logical thought. Yeah. Yeah. I think, thank you. Thanks, Gauri. This has been a wonderful session. People found a lot of value. I can already see. I can speak for myself. It's been a life-changing experience to go through a session like this. Guys, we are also sharing the website of the firm that Gauri herself manages. You can reach out to her directly also in order to have sessions in the future. Also, there's a handout that was shared during the session that also has all the details for Zen Your Way as well as Gauri. If you want to reach out to her separately. Also, some of the questions that we could not answer, as always, Gauri and I will be answering them on my LinkedIn post that will follow immediately after the session. We will type the questions on your behalf and also answer them. So please feel free to visit the LinkedIn page and also like some of the questions that are coming in. Great, thank you, Gauri. It was wonderful. Also, an August audience of 150 plus people whom we started with. We have the next session, guys. Again, next Saturday, like always, with a very very relevant topic that leads to all the stress that Gauri was talking about, which is the conflicts that we have in our work life and in our personal life. Now, if research says that if we have to find out what is causing the maximum stress in our lives, it's either a conflict with a human being or a conflict with a certain principle or thought that you're not able to agree with. And therefore, the next session, guys, is about conflict resolution. What are the best ways to come out of the conflict successfully in your professional life mostly, but we'll also cover some aspects of our personal life. I will be having with me Sonal Jain. She is the HR director currently at Johnson & Johnson at a national level. She's herself very, very involved in the steps of conflict resolution and various other HR steps. She has spent 9 years in Hindustan Unilever, about more than 3 years with Wipro. Before that, she had spent her summer internship herself with Hindustan Unilever, and now with Johnson & Johnson for more than 4 years. So I'll see you next Saturday, 12 o'clock exactly, on the conflict resolution topic. Thanks once again, Palak. Thanks, Gauri, for joining us. It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful and very, very special. Thank you, everyone. See you again next Saturday. Thank you.